29, first paragraph, after after Millie noticed queer, because we both, it is 8, 9 lines.
Yes,
We left
okay.
there. We left there.
Okay. Yes, this is the example he gives, Bloom gives to himself, because remember, he's thinking, he's not talking. Instance, he's playing now. For example, he's playing now. He's talking about the man who is playing, yes? Improvising. Might be what you like, till you hear the words. Want to listen sharp, hard. Begin all right, then hear chords a bit off. Feel lost a bit. So this is the process, no, that he's in a way explaining when you listen to the music, no? The one who is playing the piano, I mean improvising, remember is Father Cowley. He's playing, no, improvising, and so he says, maybe what you like, it may be any song, till you hear the words. When the song starts with words, it is a specific song. You want to listen sharp, to listen more carefully, hard, begin all right, and then hear chords a bit off. So sometimes you hear the chords of some of the instruments a bit off the track, as if they were not playing correctly. You feel lost a bit. In and out of sacks, over barrels, through wire fences, obstacle race. Time makes the tune. So again, he in a way is representing what we are doing when we listen to music, no? In and out, over barrels, through wire fences, like in an obstacle race. Time makes the tune. Again, what makes the tune, what makes a song different from another song is the time, the rhythm. That's why he goes back to this idea of numbers. Numbers creating music, no? Question of mood you are in. So again, without explaining much, but what he says, it is true. The question is in what mood you are when you listen to the song or to the piece of music. It depends on your mood, no? Question of mood you are in. Still, always nice to hear. Except scales up and down, girls learning. And this, I remember that Malena said that when she had to practice the scales, she thought it was very boring. Two together next door neighbors, and now he remembers the two girls who are practicing the scales, ought to invent dummy pianos for that, yes. Millie, no taste. And here practically we left. Millie evidently had no taste, which is unusual because Millie is Molly's daughter and Molly is a singer, no? Queer because we both, I mean, and this is why he says queer. Queer, strange. It is strange that Millie has no taste for music because both of them, Molly is a singer and Bloom has a taste for music. So it is unusual, it is strange that Millie has no taste. Bloom lied, I bought for her. Blumen lied, I bought for her. The name. Playing it slow. A girl. Night I came home. The girl. Door of the stables near Cecilia Street. So he remembers when he bought this piece of music for her, because of the name, because the name of the piece of music includes his own name. So he thought it was interesting. Blumen lied, playing it slow. A girl, night I came home, the girl. So he remembers his girl, his daughter. Door of the stables near Cecilia Street. Evidently, the music made him remember, connect things, his analysis of music connected with numbers. And then his daughter and his wife, I mean, the way he connects all thoughts. And then
with his memories too.
And his memories. And now back to reality, no? Bold, deaf pad brought quite flat pad ink. You remember he had asked the waiter to bring him a pad and ink to write the letter. Pat set with ink pen white flat pad. Again, he plays with language. So bold deaf Pat brought white flat pad ink. What is flat is the pad, el anotador, ¿sí? Es chato. And then in the second sentence, Pat set with ink, pen, white, flat pad. So the same idea in a different order. Pat
it's like a tongue twister.
Yeah, all the time, all the time.
Claudia is writing.
Sorry?
Yes.
Claudia is writing.
Claudia is writing.
A ver.
I said,
She said, estoy con el teléfono. And Malena said, Inés is recording the class, try to restart the phone in case this is a problem.
Claro, probably, yes. That's a good idea, no?
yes, this is the
To ask him, her if she has a good connection, a good internet connection.
My God. Well, okay. Pat took plate, dish, knife, fork. Pat went. So the way in which he writes, like a telegram, let's say, no? Pat took plate, dish, knife, fork. Pat went. It was the only language Mr. Daedalus said to Ben. He heard them as a boy in Ringabella, Crosshaven, Ringabella, singing their barcaroles. So, at the same time, Bloom is listening to the music and thinking and trying to write the letter. Mr. Daedalus is talking to the other man, to Ben. They are talking about music, and he says that he heard them as the music, the song, that he heard when he was a boy in Ringabella, Crosshaven, and Ringabella. I sent you the information because these places are from Cork, not Dublin. And the people in Cork apparently are very proud of being mentioned in the Ulysses. Because in fact, Joyce and his father especially lived there, and he worked in one of these ships. The barcaroles are the songs for drinking, let's say, songs that talk about drinking. And this is these places are the ports in Cork, and so these places are, of course, full of ships, and people like Joyce's father worked there as, you know, sailors, etc., working on the ships. And that's why he learned all those songs when he was a child. Because remember that Mr. Daedalus is the representation of Joyce's father, no? Queenstown harbor full of Italian ships. Walking, you know, Ben, in the moonlight with those earthquake hats. The earthquake hats son, les mandé la fotito, los de las obras, esos para proteger la casa. Los cascos, sí. Blending their voices, God, such music, Ben, heard as a boy, cross Ringabella Haven Moon Carol. So Mr. Daedalus is remembering the music that he heard when he was a boy, because obviously his father worked at the docks, but also the Italian sailors and the way they sang, you know, blending their voices. Sourpipe removed, he held a shield of hand beside his lips that cooed a moonlight night call, clear from a near, a call from afar replying. So, who was smoking the pipe? You remember this was Daedalus, no? He was smoking a pipe. So, without saying who he is, we know that the pipe belongs to Daedalus. So, Sourpipe removed, no? He removed the pipe. He held a shield of hand. He put his hand in front of his mouth to make a coo call, ¿no? Como de las palomas, el ruido que hacen cucú, ¿no? A moonlight night call, ¿no? So he imitated the birds, probably owls at night, clear from a near, a call from afar replying, as if he were imitating the owls that's, you know, produce the sound, and another owl that answers, no? Again, remembering his time at Cork. Down the edge of his Freeman baton ranged blooms, your other eye, scanning for where did I see that? Okay. Let's go back some chapters. You remember that from the moment of the burial, Bloom was having the newspaper in his hand, the Freeman.
Yes. Yes.
And he had it as a baton, la tenía enrollado como un palo, ¿sí? As a baton. And so you remember that when they were coming back from the burial on the carriage, he lent his newspaper to another man who was there and who wanted to read about the horses, you remember?
Yes.
And he said,
Yes.
you can have it or something like that. But the man gave it back to Bloom. So he still has the Freeman, the newspaper, no? This newspaper is repeated all over the Ulysses, probably because at that time was the more nationalistic newspaper. So down the edge of his Freeman baton, because now it is more a baton than a newspaper, ranged Bloom's eyes, your other eye, scanning for where did I see that? So Bloom is looking at his at the newspaper that is rolled, no, looking at the edge and scanning, because he's thinking, where did I see that? Callan, Coleman, Digman, Patrick. What is he reading? He's reading the
Burial.
obituaries, claro, the obituaries, las necrológicas, the obituaries. That's why they appear in alphabetical order, Callan, Coleman, Digman. So he's looking at his newspaper and reading the names of the dead. I-ho, Fawcett. Aha, just I was looking. Hope, he's not looking. Cute as a rat. He held unfurled his Freeman. So now we are not talking of Bloom. Hope he is not looking. Cute as a rat. He held unfurled his Freeman. So now the newspaper is unfurled, desplegado, no está hecho un rollito. Can't see now. Remember right, Greek is, Bloom dipped. Why is he using now the newspaper kind of spread, unfurled? What is he doing? He's writing the note for Martha. And he's using the newspaper to cover his note for the others not to see what he's writing. So hope he's not looking, cute as a rat. He hopes, you remember who he is having lunch with? You
Mr.
remember
Daedalus.
¿Cómo?
Daedalus.
Well, no, Daedalus is there at the same, let's say, bar, but he was having lunch with Golding, with Richie Golding, his
Yes.
Stephen Daedalus' uncle. You remember the one who is the lawyer?
Yes, yes, Golding, yes.
They are having dinner at the same table. And all the other men are there, you know, more near the bar, let's say, drinking. So he doesn't want Richie Golding to see what he's writing, because it's a kind of letter, I mean, a private letter. So that's why he says, hope he's not looking cute as a rat, because he knows that Golding, who is cute, es muy pícaro, ¿sí? Was trying to see what he was writing. And so he held unfurled his Freeman. Ahí lo despliega al diario para que le tape lo que está escribiendo. Can't see now. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember right, Greek is. You remember why the conversation that he had with Martha about the Greek is, la letra como si fuera el epsilon, que era lo que escribía, ¿se acuerdan que ella escribía como con delicadeza, yo qué sé, haciéndose la culta? You remember Martha?
Yes.
Martha was a girl of a low class with a little education, but she pretended to be educated, and so her handwriting was rather elaborate. So now he says, he thinks, no? Remember to write the Greek E's. Bloom dipped bloomer. Dipped because the pen he had to be dipped in ink, ¿no? Era una pluma, ¿se acuerdan?
Yes.
Bloom dipped bloomer. Dear sir, dear Henry. Aha, Henry, let's go back again to that chapter, was his name. You remember that he invented the name for himself. He
Yes.
didn't say he was Leopold Bloom. He was Henry Flower. You remember?
Yes, Henry
Yes.
Flower.
So now he was going to use that name, no? And so, dear Henry wrote, dear Maddie, got your lead and flow. So he's writing and thinking at the same time. Hell did I put some poc or os, poc, estaba pensando si ponía punto, coma o qué ponía. It is utterly impossible. So why can we read only parts of the words? Because we are reading what he thinks, and he doesn't think the complete words because he's writing. He knows what he's going to write. It is utterly impossible, underline impossible, no, he's thinking, to write today. So what he's saying is, he's telling Martha that today it is impossible to write or whatever, no? Bore this, board bloom tambourine gently with I am just reflecting fingers on flat pad broad. So let's organize the sentence. He thinks this is boring, no? That what he's writing is boring. So board bloom, tambourine gently. To tambourine es jugar con las...
The fingers.
Claro, como hacer clic clic sobre la mesa.
Con los
As
dedos.
in Inés, as in Spanish, tamborillar. As Spanish.
Claro, tamborillar los dedos.
Muy bien, jamás lo había usado, lo voy a empezar a usar.
Sí. No se usa, es antiguo, pero en las novelas por ahí dice.
Tamborillar.
Claro, cuando la gente está ansiosa o esperando algo nervioso, tamborillea.
Muy bien. So, board bloom tambourine gently with, I am just reflecting fingers. Of course, he is reflecting, but his fingers are not reflecting, no? So that's why I said, let's organize the sentence. With, I am just reflecting fingers on flat pad broad. So he's reflecting and his fingers are tambourining on the flat pad that Pat brought. Yes? On. Know what I mean? No, change that E. So he's trying to rephrase his word and he says, no, I'm going to change the E. You remember he was using the Greek E. Accept my poor little place enclosed. So he wants to tell her, accept my apologies and enclosed. Ask her no answer. So he wants her not to answer. Remember that he sends her the letters and she sent him the letters to the post office, not to his house. Ask her no answer. Hold on. 5 dig because this is what he has to pay for the letter. 2 about here. Penny the girls. Elijah is coming. Do you remember where this phrase Elijah is coming comes from? This was
From the song that the beggar was singing. Was
no,
it the beggar?
no, this was
The
from
soldier.
an advertisement that was given to him. You remember about these people who are going to travel to Palestine to build a new home in Palestine, no? And this was in a chapter, Vanessa, that you didn't
wasn't
read with
here.
us. No, when he went to the butchers, the butcher used as a parcel a piece of newspaper, and the newspaper had this ad, no, inviting people to buy lands in Palestine to go there. And so he immediately thought of the butcher being a Jew, because the people who went to Palestine were obviously mostly Jews, no? And the phrase is Elijah is coming, and then he threw the paper to to the river, and the paper appeared again on different occasions because the water was
Yes.
bringing the paper and following, let's say, Bloom, no? Elijah is coming. 7, Davy Burns. Davy Burns is the place we already saw before. It was a
It's a
bar,
public house, you said, public
Yes.
house.
a public house, yes.
And,
And
this bird was gay.
yes. But Bloom didn't say anything because he was very, delicate about this. He didn't want to mention it, but he said something about Davy Byrne without giving away the complete information, no? Is 8 about, say, half a crown, my poorly, and he goes on, P-O, no, the abbreviations, 2 and 6, write me a long letter. Do you despise jingle? Have you them so excited? So he's mixing up what he's writing with the
What
memory.
is it?
Yes, what the Martha has told him, yes. Why do you call me not? You remember that she has said that he was a naughty boy? And
Yes.
now Bloom, in a way, transforms the naughty in not a zero. No, so the meaning changes completely. Why do you call me not? Es como, ¿por qué me decís que soy un cero, que soy una nada? ¿Sí? Why do you call me not? You naughty too. Oh, Mary lost the string of her. Bye for today. So he finishes the note. He remembers that she had lost the string of her hair. Bye for today. Yes, yes, will tell you. Want to keep it up. So this is what he wants, to keep it up, to keep the relationship up, yes, to go on. Call me that other world, she wrote. My patience are exhausted. And this phrase is a phrase that he, let's say, highlighted in her words, because she wanted to speak with, with elegant words, but she made grammar mistakes. I don't know if you remember that meeting, and when she said, my patients are exhausted, Bloom felt that that was a great mistake, that showed that she wasn't a very cultivated person, no, because of the R instead of the is. To keep it up, you must believe the tank, it is true. Believe the tank, it is true. Again, what is true? You must believe me. This is what she says. The tank is the tank of beer. It is.
What I say is true.
Claro. So the whole paragraph that is completely, lacking connection is something that we have to reconstruct, going back to the previous episodes, the episode of Martha, the episode of the butcher, the episode of the piece of paper floating in the river. So it's a way of making up for everything that has happened today, comprised in one chapter, in one paragraph, sorry. Folly, am I writing? So Bloom says, am I writing folly? Am I writing stupid things? Husbands don't. So who writes folly? Perhaps somebody in love, young people, but husbands don't. That marriage does. So he thinks that what marriage does is to break this habit of writing love letters. When you are a husband, you don't write love letters. This is what marriage does. Their wives, because I'm away from. Suppose, but how? She must keep young. Is she found out? Card in my high grade ha. No, not at all. Useless pain. If they don't see, woman, sauce for the gander. So again, he's thinking of the time when he wrote love letters to Molly, but now marriage has destroyed this. Now he's away from that. Suppose he tells Molly that he has a lover. She must keep young. If she found out, he knows that Molly is having an affair with Boylan. Is he going to tell her that he has seen the card? You remember the card of the invitation, chapter 1? No, not tell all. So he thinks that he doesn't have to tell all to Molly. It is a useless pain. He thinks that he's going to produce, or to, to produce an useless pain for Molly. If they don't see, if women don't see, woman sauce for the gander. This sauce for the gander is part of a proverb. I sent you the proverb. So his idea is that it is better to go on like this without saying everything, because she will suffer if she knows everything, because he knows, no? So he doesn't want Molly to know that he knows, because this would produce a useless pain, and this would be sauce for the gander. So this would be completely unnecessary, no? So he prefers to go on in this situation where in which she doesn't know he knows, no? A hackney car. This is, of course, the famous car that Boylan, where Boylan is traveling, no? Number 324, driver Barton James on number 1 Harmony Avenue, Donnybrook, on which sat a fair, a young gentleman, Boylan, stylishly dressed in an indigo blue serge suit made by George Robert Messias, tailor and cutter, of number 5 Eden Key, and wearing a straw hat, very dressy, bought of John Plasto of number 1. So the description of Boylan traveling in the car, well, number 1 Great Brunswick Street, Hatter. Hatter is Plasto, el sombrerero. This is the jingle that joggled and jingled. Again, he associates the hackney car with the jingle, the noise that joggled because of the movement and the noises, and jingled. And remember that throughout this chapter, we have been repeating the word jingle, and I sent you the original song, yes, the Christmas song, and we saw that it has erotic connotations. So the association of the noise of the card and the jingle are connected with sex and with the meeting between Boylan and Molly. By Ducklac's pork shop, bright tubes of agendas trotted a gallant buttocked mare. So again, he imagines the cart, the man on the car, and arriving at Molly's house, at his house. Answering an ad, King Richie's eyes asked Bloom. So we go back 3 or 4 paragraphs before, when Bloom said that he doesn't want Richie to see what he's writing, no? And it is evident that Richie is curious. He wants to know. So he asks, are you answering an ad? Because remember that this is Bloom's profession, no? He's a publisher in a way. So he could be answering an ad from the newspaper. Yes, Mr. Bloom said, town traveler, nothing doing, I expect. So Bloomer, best references. Best references are the references that he's asking. You remember, for the girls, when he wrote the ad asking for a girl who knew how to write, etc., and to receive best references. But Henry wrote, and this is Henry, not Bloom, this is Henry Flower. his his second personality. But Henry wrote, "It will excite me." So this is what he writes as Henry, not as Bloom. You know how. In haste, Henry, Greek E. So he finishes the letter using the Greek E, saying that he will be excited to know about her. And in haste, he writes, Henry. What is he playing now? The one who is playing the piano. Improvising, intermezzo. P.S. The rum-tum-tum. How will you pun? You punish me? Crooked skirt swinging, whack by. Tell me I want to. No. Of course, if I didn't, I wouldn't ask. La 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 re, trails off there sad in minor. Y minor sad, sign H. So while he's writing, he's also paying attention to the music. What is it? It's a piece of improvisation. It's an intermezzo, the rum-tum-tum. How can this pun, how can he make a sentence that, uses the word like a punning? You punish me. Crooked skirt swinging. So his skirt is swinging, whack by, como la cola del saco. Tell me I want to know, of course. Tell me what I want to know, of course. If I didn't, I wouldn't ask. If I knew, I wouldn't ask. At the same time, the music, la 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 re, trails off there sad in minor. And he, in the middle of all that, he recognizes a sad in minor, o sea, una nota, ¿no? La nota en fa menor. Y dice, ¿por qué menor? O sea, analiza el nombre de la nota en el medio de todo eso. Sign H, this is his signature, Henry. They like sad tail at end. So songs like to end with a sad note at the end. PPS, la 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 re, I feel so sad today. And this is Bloom. I feel so sad today. La re re, so lonely, D. So he feels that this piece of music accompanies his thoughts, no?
Yes. I have to say that minor tunes, they are apparently they are more sad than the